Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Another Newcastle transfer news video today. Match week 3 it is now, so Newcastle are 2 games in. We haven't conceded the goal yet, and we've got 4 points, so a pretty good start. Now the Brighton match itself, it was a good point. The performance, I think there were a lot of problems in the game, which hopefully the club is going to address in the transfer market. But that's why we're here today, more transfer news. I said 3 days ago when I made my last transfer news video that I expect things to advance by the time making this video, and have they? I would say so, but maybe not so in the media. It's hard to explain, but I think things are going well for Newcastle. It's just a case of not as much information as came out as media as I personally expected. But anyway though, if you're new around here, make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button. I'm not going to give anything away, but there's a pretty big video on the channel this week, so make sure to get down there, turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss it when it comes out. And as well as that, you can also get down there, smash the like button. And finally, question of the day. Chelsea players now. Newcastle have been linked to 4 players on loan from Chelsea. Which ones would you take? And I'll explain them throughout the video. But yeah, that's the question for you guys. Which Chelsea loan players would you take at the club? There are a couple of things I would like to say first, actually, before we get into the video now. First off, I did a podcast on Thursday, just before I went down for the Brighton match. So it was the Football People's Podcast, it's called. It's on Spotify, SoundCloud. I did it with a couple of lads with Goes and Gosford. So yeah, they're really sound lads. They've got jobs in football and they know what they're talking about. So you want to listen for me for a couple of hours and tell you what I honestly think about Newcastle United this season, as well as just my YouTube career, I guess, in general. And make sure I go check it out. So cheers for the invite, lads. I really did enjoy coming on the podcast. Now, we're going to talk about Paul from the Tomb of You. If you haven't already seen it, unfortunately, on his YouTube channel, he actually collapsed during one of his streams on Friday. Now, I'm really good mates with Paul. I've got a lot of time for him. I used to go down the away days all the time with him. And, I mean, we always just speak highly of each other, really. So to see that happen in one of his streams is just shocking. I didn't actually realise until Sunday, because I've been busy with the team the full week. I didn't realise he put his Twitter post out. So that was terrible to hear. So, Paul, I hope you have a fast and speedy recovery. I hope things go well for you. The reason why I'm talking about this in my video now is just so you guys can go over and obviously show your support, as well as just letting people know, because as I said before, I didn't realise until his Twitter post came out, so that might be the same for some other people. But yeah, get well soon. And finally, last but not least, we're going to quickly talk about the women's team now. So I had quite a few people ask me about the women's team. I haven't talked about the team pretty much at all, because every single match they've played in pre-season has been behind closed doors, so I kind of don't know what I can and what I can't say, essentially. So their pre-season is now done. They play their first match away on Sunday. Now I'm going to miss the first couple of games because of the conflict with the main team. I can't go to the games when Newcastle play at the same time. So yeah, that's a bit of a nightmare for when I want to go every single match. But yeah, best of luck to the girls though. Whenever I can actually watch them play, I promise I'll be at every single match. It doesn't conflict with the first team. And I'm sure this season is going to be the one where we'll win the title. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We'll talk about the girls quite a lot in a bit, but now is just not the time, essentially, so I'll give you some updates on that. But yeah, that's about it. Probably for quite a long intro there, but without further ado, let's actually get into the news now. So we'll begin off by talking about Amanda and Murdad. So as they do at every Newcastle game, they were in attendance for the Brighton game. That's when we saw them in the vlog, of course, and said hello to them. But anyway, though, the day afterwards, the Chelsea match, they were actually invited down by the Chelsea owners to come watch the game with them. Now, as the images came out, a lot of Newcastle fans straight away assumed that we're going to be getting some players in from Chelsea. You know, they're going over there for business relations. They're going over there to go and try and sign this player, try and buy that player. Now, when I actually first saw those pictures, I didn't believe that at first. Regardless of what the owners went down for, it's still good for Newcastle, because the owners, if it's just for, I don't know, just for a social event, it's them building relations up with Chelsea, which would be easier in the future for us to try and get deals done, and we'll just build relationships. So yeah, with a brand new Chelsea owner, it's great for the owners to go and actually interact with them, to meet them. And yeah, it's going to be good for Newcastle long term. But a lot of reports came out today. I haven't talked about many Chelsea players on my channel throughout the window, but Newcastle have been linked with quite a few Chelsea players on loan. And when you think about Newcastle's transfer budget, when you think about what Newcastle are trying to do currently with the Benfica player, it does kind of add up. And when there's more reports coming out today regarding Chelsea players go out on loan, it kind of puts 2 and 2 together. And Newcastle's interactions with the Chelsea owner yesterday for the 2-2 draw, I mean, there is more than what meets the eye, that's what I'm going to say. So we'll talk about this in more depth. What player could Newcastle actually be trying to get in from Chelsea? First off, at Chelsea, they're actually currently trying to sign Anthony Gordon for Everton, which was a long-term target for Newcastle, but due to the fact that Everton won £50 million for him, Newcastle have walked away from trying to sign him. So Chelsea have bidded £40 million so far. The bid's been rejected, and Chelsea are now currently thinking of what they're going to do next. So if they do sign Anthony Gordon, if they sign Aubameyang, if they sign any attacking player, that's going to benefit Newcastle more, because that's another attacking player that's going to go out on loan. And Newcastle have been linked with a lot of players from Chelsea. First off, the oldest ones, we've got Borja, the player that was on loan at Southampton last season. So Newcastle were linked to him for quite a while on loan. And eventually things have sort of died down with him, so Newcastle just haven't been back since. So that's one to keep an eye on. Conor Gallagher, he's a player that's expected to go out on loan. Potentially this season, had a very successful time at Palace last year. Of course, John Joe Shelby's injured for Newcastle into late November, early December time. So we've got 3 months without the backup centre midfielders. So we need more squad depth in the midfield to prevent any more injuries or suspensions. So that's one there. Christian Pulisic, he's a player that's expected to go out on loan. He hasn't played for Chelsea this season yet. He, for me, is a phenomenal player, along with Conor Gallagher. I'm a massive fan of those two in particular. So if Newcastle are trying to get one of those two on loan, I will be over the moon. So he's one to keep an eye out for. Gallagher and Hudson Odoi, he's expected to go out on loan now. So that's another Chelsea player. So he was actually meant to be in the developmental squad. So there's been quite a few Chelsea players that if they're not getting game time, they go down to the developmental team. So Hudson Odoi's been pulled out of that team because he's expected to go out on loan with a number of Premier League clubs wanting to sign him. So that's another player there. Ross Barkley, I haven't seen many links with this one, but he's another potential Chelsea player that Newcastle could go in for a loan move. So yeah, there's a lot of doing. Which one is it going to be? I'm not sure. I do believe, though, Newcastle will loan somebody out this window. And you would think with the amount of Chelsea players on there, bear in mind, in my personal opinion, I actually think pretty much all the players would be great additions to the team. So I would say yes to pretty much all of them. There's some I want more than others. But ultimately, I think all of these players improve Newcastle. So the club would be wise to go out and loan one of them. Just get them in for squad depth, or get them in, be a great player, have it in around the squad. So let me know down in the comment section, guys, which one do you think is going to be. But I'm actually going to get some links now and show you the different media reports on them. We'll begin off with the Athletic here, because they have came out and said that Christian Pulisic is a potential loan target for Newcastle. Would you guys take Pulisic at Newcastle? For me, every single day of the week. The question you should be asking yourself is he an improvement on what we have? Do you think he's better than the likes of Almiron, Jacob Murphy, Fraser? Yes, I think he is. I think he's a great player. Not only is he a great player, he's also an extremely popular player as well. The Americans love him. So it would also branch Newcastle out quite well in a commercial sense in America. It's just a no-brainer. He's just better than what we have. And I think in a loan deal, especially with the attacking problems we have, if the likes of Sir Maxwell Wilson get injured, who have we got? A guy like Pulisic is a no-brainer for me. And it helps in Newcastle's transfer budget because it's a loan move. Money doesn't have to be spent on him, and the money can be spent elsewhere on it. For example, like the Gonçalo Ramos links we'll talk about shortly, or like the likes of Paqueta links we've also heard about. So yeah, there are players out there that Newcastle want to sign. But loan moves, you just have to make loan moves with the current budget we have, because Newcastle are just not willing to spend ridiculous amounts of money. So it makes sense for me for Pulisic. I think it's a great one, and for me it's a no-brainer. The Shields Gazette have also backed it up and said that Pulisic is a potential option. They've also claimed that Newcastle have been interested in trying to get Gallagher, Hudson Odoi and Borja. So pretty much all the Chelsea players we've already talked about. So again, what do you guys think about the other Chelsea players? For me, I'll take all of them. Obviously, you can only loan one player from one club. You can only loan 2 players in the transfer market in general. So we can only get 1 player from Chelsea. But for me, Pulisic or Gallagher, I will personally pick if Newcastle are trying to pick options. But yeah, fingers crossed we get one of them in, because I think pretty much all of them improve the squad. So yeah, without further ado though, let's finally finish off by talking about the Benfica striker. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the main man now from Benfica, Gonçalo Ramos, the player that is at the top of Newcastle United's wish list, a player that the club really wants to sign. So there has been some Portuguese reports coming out and claiming that Newcastle are actually set to meet the asking price of Benfica. Now, obviously, take this with a massive pinch of salt. I mean, I haven't got a clue who these people are, so it could be just people talking absolute rubbish. But I thought I'd mention it anyway because it's creating a lot of traction in social media. The reports claim that Newcastle will actually reach the asking price of €40 million for the main man. However, Benfica aren't allowing the player to leave the club until they play their final Champions League match on the 23rd of August. So Newcastle had to wait one more week before we actually sign the player. Now, if this is true, I actually don't think it's a problem because the only match you would miss was Man City at home, which, let's be real, we're going to get pumped anyway off them. So we want the signs to be realistic in for Wolves away, which is on this Sunday after the City game. So he would be in time for that game if we were to train him quickly. But yeah, I think that's probably the sort of area you want players in for, just before that Wolves match, so we can try and get them some game time in that match. Because Wolves are not an easy match, but it is realistic for Newcastle. I think City's just praying that game, to be honest. His stats are decent. We don't need a player that's going to be better than Wilson. We need somebody in there that's going to help Wilson out and be that player that you can rotate around quite a bit. So just any striker would do me. He's someone that looks good. He's an up-and-coming striker. And for me, if the club can get the deal done, then go and get the deal done. But yeah, obviously take that one with a pinch of salt. But anyway, guys, I'm going to finish things off there. Of course, you've seen Eddie Howe's press conference on Friday. He came out and he said that no progression's really been made since the prior week. But of course, in the press conference, the manager can't give away much because otherwise it could actually interfere with ongoing deals. So keep an eye on that. But fingers crossed, though, something happens this week, I'm sure it will. The club is actively trying to bring players in. And yeah, there's quite a lot going on now with the evidence that Amanda Stavia murdered. Of course, went and seen the Chelsea owners firsthand. Is something going on at Chelsea? Wait and see. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Yes, I'll see you all in the next one.